Happens sometimes in sealed. Look it up.
Sometimes in sealed.
Look it up.
Sometimes in sealed. Why don't we play any more sealed against each other?
Bring it on. You just stopped. You just stopped challenging me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Man, maybe I should start that back up.
Yeah, do it. I'd
Are
love
you
to
gonna-
continue my undefeated streak.
Are you undefeated against me?
Yes. I'm undefeated lifetime in sealed chows. Like, I haven't lost
Man.
anybody.
All right.
So I accidentally turned the TV off, and now we're turning it back on. So I can't
Yeah,
see
so Ben's going to lead us off here with a gnarly dryad.
Ooh, Gnarls Barkley in the house.
Gnarly, dude. All right.
Dueling fast lands, dueling one drops.
My
They
favorite,
become 3 power.
my favorite one drop. Your not favorite one drop.
No, it's. I think Gnarlwood Dryad's probably a better one drop than the Toolmaster.
The Toolmaster is going to become a 3-power guy before the gnarly dryad is, though. So that's exciting. Maybe.
Does Tyler have an artifact?
Are we going to side bet on it or something?
No, I mean, you've clearly seen something I haven't seen.
No, I haven't.
All right, well.
He's got a copter. Let's see if Tyler can follow with a copter, too. See, a copter here is way more powerful than him than it is for Ben.
Sure. I agree.
You know, I've thought a card like Smuggler's Copter would really just dominate Standard for a long time. But, while it's been good, I don't think it's been oppressively good.
It's been oppressively good. Spoilers. Spoilers.
Are you kidding me? It does
It's
actual
oppressive.
nothing versus the green-black Delirium deck.
It does a lot until they get Ishkana.
Okay, so Ishkana's oppressive.
Ishkana stops a very oppressive card. So here's where the copter is oppressive. There are like
This
3
situation,
different.
it's insane.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just nuts here. Like, get in, loot, deal 3 damage.
Right.
Any control deck or any mid-range deck that's like trying to play control-ish elements
Okay.
has to contend with Copter or vehicles as a whole, Copter being the best vehicle by a pretty wide margin. Emrakul and Avacid. Emrakul and Copter pull you away from instant speed removal,
Okay.
which slows you down. Or I'm sorry, Emrakul pulls you away from instant speed removal. Copter forces you to have instant speed removal, and it pulls you in too many different directions.
Interesting.
Now, if we had like Maelstrom Pulse,
Right, so we had a Traverse and a Grimflayer here. So he's 3 cards to Delirium. One more and it's over. An instant or a land. Gonna evolve it. Whoa. That's as big as the deals get.
so he's going to take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not that big of a deal,
Sure.
especially looking at this hand. Man, this Blossoming Defense could do some serious work.
Gosh, yeah, it's an instant.
Yeah.
So it's gonna make all his Delirium guys bigger. That's gonna be a huge game when Tyler attacks with this Grimflayer.
Huge game. Draws
Huge, I
another
tell you.
land. I don't think
Is
we
that
can
a land
attack
or
here.
was that a
I think you drew a land.
the black scry spell? What's the thing called?
The Black Scry spell.
The discard spell catches a creature.
Collective Brutality?
No, it's a uncommon.
Scry spell catches a creature.
It
Discard
discard
spell.
a creature.
Oh, Harsh Scrutiny?
Harsh scrutiny.
It is not Harsh Scrutiny.
All right.
So this is a good attack.
Yeah, Grimflayer coming in.
You want this Grimflare to connect, and I think Tyler realizes he doesn't want it to connect.
Yeah, here he
Oh,
comes in with all the blockers.
Oh, no.
You're just getting everything for his defense here. There's plus
It's
4,
just
plus
gross.
4.
Yeah.
2, 2, 2.
So deal 3, deal 3. So the
3, 3.
3 damage, 3 damage. Part of that creature's source against it. Delirium's active.
Sure.
So he doesn't get it trampled over for anything. So it's not amazing, but
I'm
2
not
for
mad about
1.
it.
Your Gnarlwood Dryad, your Gnarls Barkley is now a 3/3. Seems pretty strong.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the 2 lands are, but if one comes into play untapped, next turn we're going to be looking at this Verdurous Gearhulk. And that's going to create some scary offense.
Yup.
Now the best draw for Tyler here would be another artifact. Giving this guy first strike will be huge.
Right. It allows him to punch through either of these blockers.
I might be fine just taking 4 here depending on what Tyler plays.
Right.
Because it's just a 2/2 on defense, and that's nothing. Less than nothing.
Right. Less than nothing might be. It's something.
No, it's less than nothing.
Okay.
Because you had to pay a mana for your nothing.
Okay. Noted.
All right, it's something. But it's not anything that I'm happy with.
And
How about
no,
that?
it's nothing impressive.
No. So worst case scenario, we could pop a clue. Looks like he's content to Reflector Mage.
The Grim Flare. Interesting.
Doesn't have first strike. Your guy's already a 3/3, so this isn't a bad block. You get a free loot. Draws the deadweight. What did 2/2s think about deadweight?
Not much.
Not much. So either going to discard the land or the Verdurous Gearhulk here. I would personally discard the land.
Did he discard the Grim Flare?
I think he discarded the Grim Flare, which isn't bad because he can't cast it next turn anyway, but oh man, why didn't he play that pre-combat? Why did he play the Reflector Mage pre-combat? There's so many mysteries in this matchup.
Alright.
Also, why didn't he... I can't even right now. Can't even.
So yeah, this is a situation where Tyler could have played out the entire turn in his head to just figure out, what's going to happen.
Sure.
And it would have...
Would have done a lot of things.
It would have let
saved
him...
his creature.
It would have let him save his... It would have let him save his creature. It would have let him...
Deal 4 damage.
Right, deal 4... figure out what the better plays are down the line. So is Ben off Delirium now? Is it just artifact instant sorcery? So this...
Yes.
Alright. And he's comes into play tapped lands.
He tried to add a deadweight to the mix, but Tyler did not bite.
Right, because if Tyler were to block there, he could just deadweight whatever creature.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, the only profitable block is Reflector Mage, and then deadweighting it.
Sure. But, I mean, neither creature is doing anything right now.
Right.
I mean, he can attack in, but he'll deal 2 and then trade off Reflector Mage for Gnarls Barkley.
Right. I don't think that's a trade Ben's even interested in.
No, I don't think there's a good attack here. I think you're comfortable. If he has 4 mana open, you're comfortable either sitting back on a Spell Queller or bluffing it. If you've got another land, you can play it and pop a clue and still bluff the counter magic.
I would take this free attack with the Reflector Mage.
I don't think it's free.
So if Ben blocks and like wants to throw away the Dryad, that's fine with me.
The Dryad is Death Touch.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you're just trading.
You're trading it off, but hopefully you have a more impressive creature than this Reflector Mage in your deck.
Right, but you're turning on Delirium for him. You're trading down. Like, I just don't think it's a profitable block. Or a profitable attack, rather. The only value this Reflector Mage is giving you right now is it's another body that he has to block.
Right.
For when you go in for lethal.
Yeah, here he comes with just the Reflector Mage.
Just block it.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know that Tyler has a bigger creature on the ground than Reflector Mage.
Okay, I can see that. Gideon.
We've dropped a Gideon. Gideon's pretty good.
Opens up this Deadweight to being a live card, but I don't think Ben's going to care. I think he's going to cast his Gearhulk. Spread some counters out.
The draw is a Mind Rack Demon.
See, that makes him able to play the Deadweight and the Mind Rack Demon.
And then sequence into next turn Verder's Gearhulk. I think that's a much better play.
Yeah.
But I definitely want...
And it opens up... You get to attack your... the Scrap Heap Scrounger into the Gideon, which is really important.
Right. You definitely want to Deadweight first, though.
Concur.
Not willing to trade that off for a token. Even though you can get it back, it's still...
Right. It's still... Okay.
This is not a good play.
Choosing the Gearhulk.
Yeah, this is just... So you can swing in now. You can just chump it with a token. You've accomplished nothing.
I wonder if Ben is unaware that Always Watching doesn't pump that token, so he thought the Deadweight would just make it a 1/1.
I don't know. I mean, if he does, he should read the cards.
Yeah. I always pick the cards up, even when I know what they do sometimes.
Yeah.
It comes from my days of being a judge. When you come up to a judge call and somebody they have like a specific question about the card, in order to give you time to think about it, even if you know what like one of the cards does, you just pick it up and read it.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
So,
I've
like,
had that happen a couple times where, like...
They pick up like Lightning Bolt, and you're like, come on, dude, you know what that card does?
There's no way you don't know what this card does.
Right. But they're buying time.
Yeah,
That
makes sense.
It's a great tact.
All right,
The
so...
Gearhulk should go to the Gideon, and the Scrounger should come at Tyler.
I think... I don't know if you can attack with both.
Is that 3?
So I think...
see, his play, the play last turn would have saved his life.
What is this? What is this?
All right.
What's even going on here? So Deadweight on...
Alright, so he keeps the Gearhulk back. So I also think maybe sizing the counters would be could have been done in a little bit of a better fashion. If you make the Gearhulk a 6/6, then it can effectively block Gideon.
Right. Yeah, nothing about what happened was okay. Now we're just going to have to, like, throw this Mind Rack Demon, I guess, in front of Gideon when it pluses.
There's the Ishkanah you desperately needed.
Is there any value to deadweighting the Thraben Inspector before attacking?
It puts the Deadweight in your graveyard if you care about that. If, like, Emrakul's in your head, you're going to cast...
Yeah,
I know
he has
the
no cards in
aggro
hand.
deck doesn't play Emrakul, so...
Right. So, like, my thought is if he just attacks into Gideon, it's clear that he's going to block with the Straben Inspector anyway. And then you can shrink this Scrounger.
Sure.
And then you're dealing with a 2-1 and a Gideon instead of 2 lethal creatures. Now he's just dead to any removal spell.
And I misspoke earlier. He would have had to make the Gearhulk a 7/7, because I believe Always Watching affects a Gideon.
It does. Alright, here we just have to throw a guy in front of it.
Yeah, I think this Mind Rack Demon's your last hope.
I could
Because
see
the
maybe
Gearhulk-
keeping the Mind Direct Demon around. Just because it has flying. So if any ground creature he plays here can
Yeah.
get in the way.
Yeah,
And
so you block this turn with the Gearhulk, attack it with the Scrap Heap Scrounger, next turn to get out of the way. And then you have a Manland to block the... Oh, we're
What
just
is-
going to give him the choice. Just let him pick. Maybe he just wanted some information. Alright. He cares about the Gearhulk more than... Or
Yeah, clearly.
the Flyer. Alright, so everybody at Gideon. We gotta kill Gideon. Oh. Oh, here's 11 in him. $11 at Tyler. That's a bold play, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for him.
Hey, he goes to 2. Blossoming Defense would have been game, but he has enough to
I
activate
guess-
both of his manlands now.
I guess activating one manland. Here's the thing: if you had enough to activate both manlands, activating one manland would have been game.
Yeah.
Oh, now we've got game on Tyler. No,
Yep.
no! Don't scoop him up! Don't scoop him up! You're only taking 2.
No, he's taking 3.
Oh, sure. Interesting. So the operative play there was the turn where he played the Gearhulk instead of casting 2 spells.
Yeah, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah. Standard is so interesting because, I mean, I know that sitting here, having you to like discuss it with,
Sure.
adds up a lot quicker in my head.
Right.
But sitting at the table, I don't know that I would have been able to identify that this is the important turn.
Right. Yeah, so he was a little bit behind when Tyler played the Gideon, but then he drew the Mind Rack Demon, which is a Gideon killer,
A Gideon Slayer.
straight up. And
Gosh,
yeah,
and if
he
you would have
just-
played that before the Gearhulk, then you could have literally put as many counters as necessary on the demon to kill
Right.
the Gearhulk or kill the Gideon.
yeah, he gets double evasion. He gets like the 4/4 counters get Flample. It's pretty insane.
Oh, does it give him Flample too?
He already has Flample. The
Oh,
demon
does
has
mine?
Flample.
Oh, okay. Flying Trample, Flample.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I feel like a creature with Flample would be wearing like a lot of like plaid, warm clothing, like a flannel,
Okay.
like a flannel Flample.
A flannel Flample. Does the Promised End have flannel? I mean, it's got like that purple lattice work, which is kind of like a purple flannel.
Yeah, I feel like Big Mama Emrakul knits a lot.
Probably. Now that she's in the moon, what else is he gonna do?
Is she in the moon?
She's in the moon.
She's imprisoned in the moon? Is that the flavor on that card?
That is the flavor on that card. She wasn't really imprisoned. She went there on her own.
What?
Yeah.
She went crazy and was like, I want to be a moon now.
No.
And since none of this existence even makes sense to the way I exist.
So, some storyline spoilers here for you guys. If you're interested in reading about the story, earmuffs. But, so everybody's fighting Emrakul.
Right, all the planeswalkers.
Liliana's like holding Emrakul off,
Uh-huh.
but Emrakul is just like, so like Liliana is as powerful as Emrakul with like the chain veil. Like she's doing damage,
Oh, good.
but Emrakul is just like this never-ending source of energy, so she can't like keep it up.
Right.
So they get this stalemate, and then Liliana starts failing, and then like everybody's just screwed. And then Jace has like this weird vision thing where he sees Emrakul as Emiria from Zendikar, like the angel,
Okay.
and she's like talking to him about like what's going on. She's like, "This isn't right. Like I shouldn't be here. Like the world's not ready for me." So she's like writing on like this scroll the whole time they're talking, and Jace is like, "I don't even know what's going on, but I gotta get out of here and like help my friends or whatever." So comes back. Tamio shows up. Tamio's like, "I got something for this Emrakul chick. It might destroy the plane." And she pulls out this scroll and reads it, and then gets possessed by Emrakul. So instead of reading the scroll, which was actually from like way earlier in the story, like the first Zendikar story,
Okay.
which is the apocalypse spell that Baron used to destroy Teleria.
Oh, okay.
So instead of using that, she channels all of the energy from the plane to trap Emrakul in the moon.
So she didn't go there voluntarily.
She did. She was possessing Tamio to change the spell to do that instead.
Oh, so it was either we're going to destroy everything, including myself, or I'll go hang out in the moon.
Right. And we don't even know that the spell would have worked. She was just like, so her whole thing was, I'm like this force of nature that like destroys everything and then rebuilds it.
Right.
But like this place wasn't meant to be destroyed and rebuilt yet, so I shouldn't even be here. So I'm just going to go hang out in this moon for a bit.
Oh, so
Smell you later, nerds.
They left her looming.
Yes.
All right.
So there it is.
I didn't realize that Baron had destroyed. I guess that was the time spiral storyline.
Baron? No, that
Baron
was
destroys Teleria.
that was Invasion.
Oh, I see. I thought Invasion was the what do you call it? The Legacy fighting back against Phyrexia from invading Dominaria.
That was it, but part of it was that Phyrexians were invading Teleria through the Time Rift.
Oh, sure.
And so in order to protect like all of like the powerful artifacts and the secrets that they had at the academy, he like just blew it up and like disintegrated all the Phyrexians that were there and everything. Like the whole sleeper agent thing.
Sure.
All right, so we've got sevens, it looks like.
Yeah, here we're back. Back to the standard timeline. And Ben's going to have a comes into play tapped man land. And Tyler looks like he's going to show him an island but have no play.
Yeah, I don't like that. So if you don't have a turn one
hand?
play. No, I mean, so you want a turn one play, obviously, but
But
there are
if you
hands
don't
without
have
it.
one, just put it into play tapped and
yeah, there's no point in giving up
give the
information.
business. All right, here's a copter. This Grim player is going to get a connection. That's important.
It's very important, actually. Now, Ben's deck is set up so that he could pretty easily, not easily, but it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility to hit 4 types on one activation. He got 3, even getting double land.
Right. Land artifact creature. Here's another land. Let's get some more. I want some more
3
aggression.
mana
here.
is a Liliana.
Whoa.
Liliana goes up instead of down, which is interesting. I guess you want to survive this copter, but I mean, you don't really play Liliana into a copter if you think he's going to crew it next turn anyway. Either way,
Here we stand
here we are again.
on our own. All right. So it looks like Ben has a for sure turn 5 Verder's Gearhulk. Here comes Grimflayer. Would you have picked off a Grimflayer with your Spell Queller there? Or are there too many instants to play around?
Yeah, there's too much to play around. It's not free. I might have played Spell Queller and then crewed the Copter and then blocked.
Okay.
That forces him to play his removal, like, right away, if he has it, and gives you a free shot at Liliana.
Right.
Although I guess you could just minus the Liliana in that case. Or plus the Liliana in that case.
Right,
So.
plus Liliana targeting Spell Queller, then you can no longer crew. Alright, so he puts 1 down and keeps 2. I think he's got some serious plays here, too. I think he's going to fill the board. Dryad. Yep. There's a nice board presence Ben has built up here. I don't know what Tyler does here. I don't know. We know he has Island left in hand, at least. So
Ben
Island
also
and 5
knows that
others.
he has Island left in hand.
Right. So I'm not sure what his. I mean, I guess he has Gideon.
Gideon's not bad, but it's not amazing.
I mean,
I gotta imagine that's what he has. I guess nothing. I guess he just has nothing.
yeah. Tyler's accidentally put lands in his Pokemon deck.
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll see a Pikachu here soon. Do we have Delirium be able to? Looks like it.
Gyarados EX could save him here, but I don't think.
Professor Oak would definitely save him here.
Oh God! Could you imagine drawing 7
It's like, yeah.
for free?
Yeah.
That game is silly.
Alright, so he could have.
Alright,
Alright,
here's
so a
the
removal
stasis snare.
spell. Maybe he just drew that and didn't want to cast it last turn. I'm not sure.
Sure. Alright.
Doesn't matter.
The defense blossoms.
Just kill you anyway. So at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, it's
Tyler's
enough for
seen
Tyler.
enough.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think if you're playing this deck, you gotta keep a hand that is more.
Yeah, so you're playing an aggro deck. I don't know. Like, you don't have to have a 1-drop, but you're playing 8, so you want to see a 1-drop.
Yeah.
You have the Copter on 2, which is great, but you don't have a 3-drop to crew it? Come on, man.
Tough.
Come on, man.
I mean.
So, like, the green-black aggro deck was the Delirium deck of choice at this format's inception.
At the Pro Tour, it was a big deal.
Right. And so I got a lot of playing against it with, like, blue-white Flash.
Okay.
And it's a good matchup. It's not a bad matchup.
Okay.
Spell Queller is phenomenal in that matchup. Like, eating a Blossoming Defense is just the biggest game. But you have to apply pressure.
They have less removal than the green black, like straight out I'm trying to get Delirium decks.
Right. So you sideboard out in traditional, like, blue-white Flash versus green-black Delirium, you sideboard out Spell Quellers because they do literal nothing.
Right.
Like, there's none of their spells that you're going to throw off the timing of that actually matters, and it's just dying 100% of the time.
Uh-huh.
So you just take them out. But in this matchup, like, eating a Blossoming Defense or eating, like, a Deadweight is huge. Getting a Mind Rack Demon is huge.
Right.
They rely a lot more on Liliana.
All right.
Although that match, I don't know. I think Ben should have gone down on Liliana to start.
I don't always start that way with Liliana, but I could see it being good in that situation.
Yeah. So you don't always want to start out going down on Liliana, but eventually that's where you want to end up.
It always, when you're ready to do it, it's timed well. It always produces a great result.
Sure.
You always get what you want out of it.
So the big issue was he had the Grimflare on 3, connected, was 1 away. So he just left 2 damage on the board by not going down on Liliana first.
Oh, so he could have really pounded in for more damage.
Yeah.
By going down on Liliana.
First. Instead
Right,
he went
yeah,
up.
you have to. Right. Interesting. Yeah. So in order to be more aggressive, these decks cut vessels and grapple with the pass. They shave on those cards.
If not cut them entirely in some builds.
Right, making going down on Liliana a much more enticing affair.
Well, it makes it less enticing because the graveyard's less full. So you're not getting as much value out of it, but it's more important because it's like one of your only spells that, like, hard enables.
Right, that's
Delirium.
what I mean. It like turns on the rest of the deck.
Right. When not a lot else is going to turn it on at that point.
Always a go-to. I think Tyler should have mulliganed that hand, by the way.
I didn't see what was in his hand, but yeah, probably.
We saw 2 of the cards in his hand.
Yeah.
And
he
I
played
don't
4
care.
turns of Magic.
It could literally be just like the best other 5 cards, but if you don't play them...
I mean, he could have been sitting on like 1 and 2 drops and just didn't want to play him for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, so it looks like this Esper aggro deck is splashing black just for the Scrap Heap Scrounger.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I do that in my in my vehicles deck.
I think
I'm not like straight up playing Unlicensed Disintegration. I'm just splashing for the Scrounger.
so. I think that's wrong. I think Unlicensed Disintegration is like the main draw to that. But
Oh, okay.
in this case, I think he should be playing the Manland, the white-black Manland.
Oh, okay, sure.
I think that gives you a lot of reach that the Esper or the blue-eyed Flash deck didn't have previously.
Doesn't have on its own, yeah.
Especially since you can no longer play the Westphal Abbey.
Artifact. Yes.
So this is an aggressive start. This is a really good start. This is where you want to be with his Esper aggro.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, maybe he's just not used to playing the deck, but he had a really bad one last time.
This is great.
And here we're going to see the strength of this Gnarlwood Dryad. If he decides to play it, I don't even know.
Yeah, he's got the option to go with the Grim Flare. And
It's not a great option.
I think the back of that hand is a dead weight.
Yeah, if he is a dead weight, then dead weight Gnarlwood Dryad's insane here.
Oh, no, it's a Mind Rack Demon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dead weight would have just been, whoo, so nice. As it is, this Gnarlwood Dryad's just going to probably chump the...
Toolcraft Exemplar.
I would think so.
Yeah, so... the Scrap Heap Scrounger can't block, so as a deck that's going bigger than this Esper aggro deck, you don't care as much about it because the way he's going to interact best with you is chump blocking.
Sure. And I saw another card in Tyler's hand that's very good in this matchup that's not very good in the previous iteration of this matchup, and that's Reflector Mage.
God, see, if you would have played those before combat, then the Exemplar would have had first strike.
He did that in game 1 too. I mean, maybe he just doesn't realize what's going on. I don't know.
Man, that's a great turn 3 from Ben. He's going to follow up with this Mind Rack Demon on 4, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to bait this Reflector Mage if Tyler drew the land.
He's a little behind. And so here's a standard Magic thing. If you're going to miss your 3rd land drop and you have a tool to draw a card like Tyler does right now,
You do it.
instead of passing and using that tool at the end of Ben's turn,
Mm-hmm.
do it now, and that way, if it's a land, you can play it immediately, and then if you draw a land next turn,
Right.
you get. Whereas if you do it the other way, you get a land stuck in your hand.
Sure.
I don't know why, but it took me a long time to learn that.
Yeah, so there's
Is that generally because I'm an idiot?
no, like there's steps of like mental progression when you're playing Magic where like you go from like drawing your card, oh, I can play this spell, I'm going to cast it,
Right.
to like, all right, I'm going to wait till the last opportunity to cast this.
Right.
And then that's where you fall into this pitfall of like, oh, I'm just going to wait till end of turn to crack the clue.
Right.
When you realize, like, eventually that it's not waiting to the last opportunity, it's waiting for the best opportunity.
Right. I just remember when that dawned on me as like, oh,
Sure.
that makes so much sense.
So Tyler with no
Alright,
black
alright.
mana. All right, so he has a turn 2 play. I don't
I like-
really agree with this because I think getting the 3rd mana is really important for him, but it's not bad.
So Tyler's on the front foot right now. He can effectively block this Grim Flare this turn. And the Scrappy Scrounger can continue to attack. I'm kind of on Tyler's side here that you want to keep things moving forward. I think he drew a land. That's very exciting.
Yeah, I think he got the fast land.
Because if he has Spell Queller here and can keep coming in with this Scrap Heap Scrounger,
Yeah, I think the Scrap Heap Scrounger is going to trade with a Grimflayer here, which is fine.
yeah, it's just okay.
Because I think the fast land he drew can produce black. So,
Oh, it's the Courtyard, huh?
mm-hmm.
Other interesting thing about this Scroungers. Oh, okay. Alright, so here's the Port Town. Okay, Ben took the 3. Tyler plays a Port Town. So here's an opportunity for Ben to trade off one of these Grimflayers to turn the other one into a 4/4.
Yep.
Alright.
Will he get it?
Land.
Land.
Okay.
He does not get it, and he needed a 4th land so bad. Leaves 1 on top, so we know what's coming next turn.
Leaves a basic. Got the basic bitch up there.
So here we go with
Scrappy
a
Scrounger.
3rd Grimflayer, I think. I think he needs to be able to block.
Okay. So even if he plays a Grimflayer here, I'm still happy with that. Because he's going to draw the land and play a Mindrak Demon.
Right.
And that's going to give him 4 shots at getting a second and third type in there.
Absolutely. If he plays this Grimflayer,
Or a
I'd be
third and
interesting to
fourth
see if that Grimflayer eats the Reflector Mage from Tyler.
I can't imagine it not.
Scrap Heap Scrounger is the play. Ben thinks he's going to get aggro here, I guess.
Alright. So he's behind on life total, but like I said, he's going to cast bigger spells than Tyler. I'm assuming every turn from here on out. Because with any luck that Mindrak Demon comes down, turns on the Grimflayer, and that's just going to let him draw whatever his heart desires.
Sure. There's the Reflector Mage.
Alright.
So this is, I don't know that it's the right play, but it's okay here. The situation that Tyler doesn't know about the Mindrak Demon, and he has a Spell Queller in hand.
Trade off there. Yeah, Spell Quellering the Mindrak Demon would be a big game.
Huge. And now the Mindrak Demon is going to resolve. Presumably hits Delirium. He's got it.
I'm trying to figure out at what point Tyler he's got a land in hand. And so I'm trying to figure out at what point.
When he popped the clue on turn, 4, when he was trying to get, he already had a land in hand, and he popped the clue anyway, and then played Port Town instead of the untapped Courtyard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's real confusing.
yeah,
I've stopped worrying about it. I've lost control of my life.
No, but this was the kind of thing I'm talking about. Is that you have to sequence it with that in consideration. You know what I mean?
All right, so taking 4 here.
And I
Going
think
to 3.
I think Tyler just wants to fill up the board.
So you see this, you think Avacyn, but you'd probably play Avacyn beforehand. Maybe he just really wants to eat this Grimflayer with a Spell Queller, which is also reasonable. He's got an end of turn activation of another Scrapyard Scrounger.
Right?
So you definitely want to be able to deal with the 2 Scrapyard Scroungers, which is the onboard tricks you know of.
What is this? Don't do that. Alright, there we go. Jeez.
Alright, so firing off the deadweight first.
Okay. At the Fitterban Inspector.
So you can take a shot from a Thraben Inspector and you don't really care about it?
Right.
So I'm not a huge fan of this.
Gosh, he knows Grimflayer is up there. That's the thing. It's the whole problem here.
You still got to do it.
No, see, because if he lets the Thraben Inspector get killed, he.
Well, I think he
Spellquellers-
has the game here. Like, Ben needs
No.
two blockers here.
I think he's got him. I think he had to spell queller the Grimflayer. Oh.
So
Okay.
even if he didn't have that, he has another Scrapyard Scrounger in the yard he could have brought back.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, so if he lets the Thraben Inspector die,
Right. I mean, he has him either way, so it's fine.
sure. Interesting.
That's a word.